welcome to this channel. I am your host, Raymond Mutuku, and I'm very happy to host you this morning. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment, and I'm very happy to be here. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, comment, and tell me where you're watching me from. It is 25th of February, and I'm very happy to be here this wonderful morning. And I said that it's such an amazing time to be here. It is indeed an honor. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Welcome to this channel. I just said that every day I will try my best to be here at least on time, so that we can read the scripture, because reading is something that is an everyday stuff. If we read every day, I know that we'll gain something small in the process. All right. So welcome, my dear brothers and sisters, and let us continue from where we were reading. It's 4 a.m. Kenyan time, and I'm very happy to be here. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I know some people are wondering why do we always stream at these odd hours. I say that it's because this is the only chance we have in the morning. As they say that if your job is to eat a frog, you do that early in the morning. And if your job is to eat 2 frogs, you start with the biggest. Because if you say that you're going to do it in the afternoon, I can assure you there's nobody in this world who wants to eat a frog in the afternoon. So if your job is to eat a frog, you do that very early in the morning, and you close your eyes while you eat the frog. I'm speaking in that's figurative language. If your job is to do something and you feel that it's really tiresome, you do that first thing in the morning. And if I've said if your job is to eat 2 frogs, you look for the biggest frog and you eat it in the morning, and you forget about it. But if you say you're going to wait until lunchtime, or you're going to wait until afternoon, I can assure you, you will keep on postponing that job of eating the frog. So you do that first thing in the morning. You close your eyes and you just that is exactly what I do. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Where were we? We were reading from the book of Job. Remember, we just have 60 days to read the scripture. And actually, I'm feeling the pressure because the 60 days are about to elapse. And we're in the book of Job. We're in the middle of the scripture. That tells you that reading the scripture, it is far from your wishful thinking. It is far. You can think that reading the scripture, you can do it in less time, but when you start doing it, you realize how difficult it is. It is, for me, you can imagine we have been reading the scripture for the past, how many days? Since the start of the year. We have been reading and reading and reading non-stop every day for 2 or 3 hours a day, yet we're just in the book of Job. So that tells you that, it is not what it seems. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'm very happy to welcome you. Any questions up to there, feel free to ask me your questions. I will be more than happy to answer all your questions. Let's continue reading. We continue reading from Job chapter 6. Then Job replied, "If only my anguish could be weighed and all my misery be placed on the scales, it would surely outweigh the sons of the seas. No wonder my words have been impetuous." Remember yesterday we gave a meaning of the word impetuous. Impetuous means, careless. The word impetuous means that you say something when you are angry. That is careless talk. That is the word. You see here in the first few chapters of the book of Job, Job was very impetuous. That is, it means that he was careless in his words. If you read, like he said, "May the day that I was born be cursed." That is in the book of Job chapter what? The first time Job speaks, he curses the day that he was born. I don't think many people curse the day they were born. I think here in Kenya, people celebrate it. They make a party and stuff like that, happy birthday, stuff like that. But in the book of Job cursed the day he was born. So you find that the first few chapters of Job, his words were impetuous in nature. And the meaning of the word impetuous is, he was not regarding the consequences of his words. That is, it was done quickly without any care. That is the meaning of the word impetuous. Sometimes, in one part of our lives, people are impetuous, in nature, because maybe you feel that you have been forgotten. Let's continue. The arrows of the Almighty are in me, and my spirit drinks in their poison. God terrors are marshaled against me. Does a wild donkey bray when it has grass, or an ox bellow when it has fodder? Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'll be very happy if you join this channel. I know I want us to take this opportunity very early in the morning to read. I know so many people find it very difficult. You need, I don't know, maybe the spirit of Elijah, the spirit of Elisha, and so many things to at least have the discipline. You need a lot. And be honest to many people, you see, your wishful thinking is a far cry from the reality. Are we together? There's wishful thinking, and and the reality, those are two different things. Let's continue. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from, and it's a wonderful time to read the scripture. You can imagine, I can see somebody called Michael Achuleta. Welcome to this channel. As I've said, it's a very interesting time to read. It's tasteless food eaten without salt, or is there flavor in this? How is your day going? I'm doing great. What about you? Kindly subscribe to this channel. Did you subscribe? Kindly subscribe to this channel. And I love visitors. Like and subscribe and tell me, did you subscribe? Oh wow, that is good. That is very good. That is very, very good. Yes, thank you for doing that. I am. You subscribed, and I'm very happy. Thank you for joining this channel. Tell me, where you're watching me from, and I really appreciated your appreciated. Any questions after that? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Let's continue reading. Tell me where you're watching me from. Also, if you tell me where you're watching me from, I'll be very happy to know, because it's very interesting to know where people are watching me from. Where are you watching me from? Kindly tell me your location. I would be very happy to know that kind of information. It will help me to know whether this channel is growing or we are going backwards. I don't know. So let us continue. I refuse to touch it. Such food makes me ill. Oh, that I might have my request, that God would grant what I hope for, that God would be willing to crush me, to let loose his hand and cut off my life. Then I would still have this consolation, my joy in unrelenting pain, that I had not denied the words of the Holy One. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'll be very happy if you join this channel. Such a wonderful time. Somebody was asking me, why is it that we're streaming very early in the morning? I said it's because there's no better time. Trust me. Even if you are in school or if you are reading, there's no better time than to read us from 4 in the morning. That is the best time, because that is how you create time. Because most people are usually under a lot of pressure, moving from one area to another, being needed in so many places. So if you miss that opportunity, it would be, you have to wait until the next day. All right. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Any questions? Any questions? Let's continue. Then I would still have this consolation, my joy in unrelenting pain, that I had not denied the words of the Holy One. What strength do I have that I should still hope? You can see the book of Job is a sad, Job here is a very sad man. But what prospects that I should be patient? Do I have the strength of stone? Is my flesh bronze? Do I have any power to help myself, now that success has been driven from me? You see, ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that if people are separated from their money, people cry, but some people only cry when they lose money. I know many people who cry when they lose money. When they lose money, that is when they cry. But in normal circumstances, they don't, they don't cry at all. You see, I remember, one time, There was a member of parliament, and this member of parliament was giving people money. And the way people were rushing to get the money, it spoke volumes of how people value money. But you see, I always ask myself when I go to church, why is it that when the pastor asks, is there anyone here who wants to accept Jesus? Then people don't run to go to the front of the church. People don't do that. They walk majestically. It's funny. You didn't hear that. They walk majestically. That's the funniest part. The pastor says, is there anyone here who wants to accept Jesus? People don't run. They just walk majestically as if it's a favor that you're doing to the church or to the pastor. But if you're told, do you want money, free money? People run. They can even fight for money. Unfortunately, that is how we have been, created. Anyone who withholds kindness from a friend forsakes the fear of their own. Anyone who withholds kindness from a friend forsakes the fear of the Almighty. But my brothers are undependable. You see, you cannot depend on them. He says here, my brothers are undependable as intermittent streams, as the streams that overflow, when darkened by thawing ice and swollen with melting snow. Let's continue. That stop flowing in the dry season, and in the heat vanish from their channels. Caravans turn aside from their routes. They go off into the wastelands and perish. The caravans of Tema look for water, and the traveling merchants of Sheba look in hope. They are distressed because they had been confident. They arrive there only to be disappointed. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'm very happy. Let's continue reading. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. Any questions up to there? Any comments? I would be very happy if you subscribe and tell me where you're watching me from. Now, you too have proven to be of no help. You see something dreadful and are afraid. Have I ever said, give me something on my behalf, pay a ransom for me from your wealth, deliver me from the hand of the enemy, rescue me from the clutches of the ruthless? Teach me and I will be quiet. Show me where I've been wrong. How painful are honest words, but what do your arguments prove? Do you mean to correct what I say and treat my desperate words as wind? Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'll be very happy if you read the scripture with me. Any questions up to there? It is 25th of February 2026. and I'm very happy to welcome you. I want us to continue reading and not lose momentum, because there's usually there's usually most people, unfortunately, when unfortunately they lose momentum or they're distracted. All right, don't be distracted. I want you to continue reading, because most people unfortunately don't they'll always look at whatever is happening around them. They don't look past they don't look forward. Most people just look at the present tense. I don't know, but I think in most grammar schools they teach about future tense, right? Yes, not just present tense or past tense. They also teach future tense in most schools that teach English. Also, future tense is also important, but most people focus on the present tense, and they do they do funny things until any questions up to there. If you are new to this channel, subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. Any questions up to there? Any questions? Let us continue reading. I want us to focus on just reading, because yesterday we were listening to music a lot, and I realized that we really wasted a lot of time listening to Dire Straits and the album, and I felt that we were listening to music at the expense of what brought us here. Now you two have proven to be of no help. You are something dreadful and are afraid. Have I ever said, give something on my behalf, pay a ransom for me from your wealth, deliver me from the hand of the enemy, rescue me from the clutches of the ruthless, teach me and I'll be quiet, show me where I've been wrong. How painful are honest words, but what do your arguments prove? Do you mean to correct what I say and treat my desperate words as wind? You would even cast lots for the fatherless and batter away your friend. But now, be so kind as to look at me. Why would I lie to your face? Relent. Do not be unjust. Reconsider, for my integrity is at stake. Is there any wickedness on my lips? Can my mouth not discern malice? Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I know guys usually don't like reading. When you tell people, oh, you need to read, they're like, oh, I'm not in school. I finished school. And unfortunately, any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'm very happy to be here. Any questions up to there? Do not mortals have had service on earth? Are not their days like those of hired laborers? So in Job chapter 7 says, do not mortals have hard service on earth? Are not their days like those of hired laborers, like a slave longing for the evening shadows, or a hired laborer waiting to be paid? So in the book of Job, it says that the days of a man are full of labor, labor. So have been allotted months of futility, and nights of misery have been assigned to me. When I lie down, I think, how long before I get up? The night drags on, and I toss and turn until dawn. My body is clothed with wounds and scabs. My skin is broken and festering. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. Remember that we are reading the scripture a day at a time, brick by brick, and I want us to just be patient. We'll get there on time. And when I lie down, I think, how long before I get up? The night drags on, and I toss and turn until dawn. My body is clothed with wounds and scabs. My skin is broken and festering. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'm very happy to be here. My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and they come to an end without hope. Remember, O God, that my life is but a breath. My eyes will never see happiness again. The eye that now sees me will see me no longer. They will look for me, but I will not, but no more. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'm very happy to be here this wonderful evening. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. I'm very happy to be here. It's such an amazing time to be here. Any questions? I can see somebody. You can subscribe to this channel, and I'll be very happy if you do that. It's such an amazing time to read. I don't want you to give up. I want us to continue reading. You're always just a few minutes away from your breakthrough. I always believe that. Most times, most people don't know that when they're just about to hit the jackpot, that is when they decide to do what? To quit. But don't worry. We're not quitting. We'll be here reading, and every day we'll be reading, and I will ensure that we read on time. I know it's boring. It's so boring. It's funny. Any questions up to there? Any questions up to there? Kindly subscribe to this channel. Let's continue reading, and I'll be very happy if we just read slowly. There's no need to rush. There's no need to rush. I came to realize that good things take time. If you want something good, it will take time. Don't rush. Because you might end up missing the point. Good things will take time. Good things usually take time. Just tarry and wait for the chariot of fire. And I was told that most people miss the point. you missed the point, because whatever you were supposed to learn, you missed the point because you were distracted by the personality of the person you're supposed to learn. And I thought that was true, because I remember the subjects that I used to hate in school. Probably it's because I didn't like the teacher. So I missed the lesson or something that was important to me because I hated the personality of the teacher. But remember that also that subject in itself was important, was equally important. But because you don't like whoever is teaching, the personality of the teacher, you just look at the teacher and you forget about the subject, and that will eventually affect your performance. So exactly that is my point, that most people miss the point, or they miss they miss the most important things because they're looking at the superficiality. They're looking at who is this who's talking, but you're not listening. You're not listening. And most people are not listening because they look at some people are they're distracted by these things. Some people are distracted by my sweater. Some people are distracted. But you see, what you were supposed to get, you're not getting it because you're distracted by the superficiality of people. You're not looking at the facts. You're looking at the things that you want to look at, your biases, and you're not concentrating. And that is how people miss the bus. You are supposed to get something from that person. I remember I told you that story of a man who was to get into a house. It's a funny story where he was told, go into that particular house, go to a particular place and take gold and diamonds and some jewels, some gemstones, very good things. It was a touch and go. The job was to take a few minutes. But this burglar broke in and went to the fridge and started eating. He found the fridge had yogurt, it had beer, there was some cake and other things. And so the thief also forgot what brought them there. They went to the sitting room and took the remote control and started changing the channel, surfing the TV to check which channels are available. So the thief totally forgot what brought them into that place. They went directly, they started eating and drinking, and they were getting too comfortable. So the owner of the house came and found the thief relaxed, just eating, some chicken and drinking juice. And, the thief, totally forgot why he went there. And that is exactly why most people are usually caught, flat-footed, because when you go somewhere, you are supposed to go and do ABCD, but because you were distracted by, some cartoons and some cartoon characters, you were distracted by some clowns, and the ice cream man. There's always an ice cream man somewhere. Somebody selling ice cream. You are distracted by the ice cream man, and then you are distracted by the circus, and you are not looking directly at the goal. You are just, uh, distracted. And that is why most people get distracted. Most people get distracted by hunger. They're distracted by their feelings. Most people are distracted by how they feel instead of looking at the bigger picture. Yes, most people are usually the pain that they're going through is clouding their judgment. Is clouding their judgment. And that one I know. You see, most people, you wonder, why is it? What happened? Why is it that our dreams are hijacked? Your dream is hijacked because you started looking at what others are doing instead of focusing on because we have a different story. Each of us has a different path. You cannot be me and I cannot be you, and you cannot, run my race and I cannot run your race. Everybody is different, and God has made us uniquely different, and everybody has a purpose in a particular time and in a particular generation. But you see, the problem with most people is I want to be doing things like this person, and that in itself is distracting you. And most people get distracted quite easily. And I can give you a very good story, and I repeated that story yesterday, the story of Elijah. He was tired, and he went to the juniper tree and sat at the juniper tree. Elijah, the great Elijah, sat at the juniper tree. And do you know what he did? When he sat at the juniper tree, he was not praying. He requested God for things, not even for things. He requested God that he wanted to die. You see here, the great man of God who brought fire from heaven. It's funny because that is in the 1 Kings chapter 19 verses 5. This is a great man, but he was distracted because he was tired. Most people get distracted when they're tired. Say, I'm tired. But it is at that point where you feel that you are, you have reached your end, where you feel that this is the end. That is when your breakthrough comes. Are we together? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. If you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe. And most people, I think most of us usually get lost in how we feel. You get lost. That is where people get lost. If you want to know where people get lost in how they are feeling. They have really valued their feelings, how you are feeling. You are not supposed to focus on your feelings. How you feel at the present is irrelevant. If, for example, I go and kill a man and I go to court and the judge asks me, why did you do this? Why did you do this particular mistake? The judge will not want to know how I was feeling at that time. Are we together? The judge wouldn't want to know. The judge will say that you broke the law. And that was it. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me. If you're new to this channel, be part of this program by subscribing, commenting, and tell me where you're watching me from. As a cloud vanishes and is gone, so one who goes down to the grave does not return. He will never come to his house again. His place will know him no more. Therefore, I will not keep silent. I will speak out in my anguish of my spirit. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. Are you happy to be here? Be part of this program by subscribing and commenting. I'll be very happy if you read the scripture with me. It's such an interesting time, to read the word. Because, in reading the word, that is how you will know the reasoning of God. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'll be very happy if you join me. Let us continue. Therefore, I will not keep silent. I will speak out in my anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul, as I am the sea or the monster of the deep, that you put me under guard. When I think my bed will comfort me and my couch will ease my complaint, even then you frighten me with dreams and terrify me with visions, so that I prefer strangling and death rather than this body of mine. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. Are you having fun in this channel? I hope you're having fun. I hope you're really enjoying yourself. If you're new to this channel, please let me know where you're watching me from. I like visitors. I like people who enjoy reading the word. And I want you to be part of this stream. And for your purposes, for your information, tonight we'll be streaming non-stop until morning. Such a wonderful time. It's very interesting, my dear brothers and sisters. If you like, reading the word, any questions up to there? Welcome, my brother. I despise my life. I would not live forever. Let me alone. My days have no meaning. What is mankind that you make so much of them? That you give so much attention, that you examine them every morning and test them every moment? Will you never look away from me, or let me alone even for an instant? If I have sinned, what have I done to you, you who see everything you do? Why have you made me your target? Have I become a burden to you? Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe, comment, tell me where you're watching me from. I'm very happy that you have decided to watch this channel. Any questions? Any questions up to there? Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. And I'm very happy to be here this wonderful evening. Sometimes I feel, any questions up to there, feel free to tell me where you're watching me from. Feel free to say something. Feel free to say something. I love people who express themselves. Don't feel like, don't feel that you're free to ask me any questions, you're free to comment, you're free to be part of this channel. I'm here because of you. Since you're watching me, I take this advantage and ask me your question, your burning question. I know most people have burning questions. You can ask me your burning question. I will be more than happy to answer you. I know most people have questions. Kindly, you can ask me your question. If you feel, oh, I need to know something, you can ask me your questions. Let me see something here. I want to see the world clock worldwide. It is, for those who want to know, it is 4:40 in Kenya. It is 8:40 in New York. In London, it is 1:40 in London. In Tokyo, it is 10:40 a.m. You see, we have a world clock here, and I can tell you, if you're watching me from somewhere like Los Angeles, it is 5:40. There are places where they're already in the morning, like Hanoi. It's 8:40 in the morning. Any questions out there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'm very happy, my dear brothers and sisters, that you have decided to subscribe to this channel. It's such an amazing thing for you to be here. Any questions? Any questions, my brothers? Any questions? Any questions, my sisters? I'll be very happy to read the word with you. Why do you not pardon my offenses and forgive my sins? For I shall soon lie down in the dust. You will search for me, but I shall be no more. Any questions up to there? Bildad, then Bildad the Shuhite replied, how long will you say such things? Your words are a blustering wind. Does God pervert justice? Does the Almighty pervert what is right? When your children sinned against him, he gave them over to the penalty of their sin. But if you seek God earnestly and plead with the Almighty, if you are pure and upright even now, he will rouse himself on your behalf and restore you to your prosperous state. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. Be very happy if you read the scripture with me. Tell me. Let us continue reading. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. It's indeed a wonderful time for us to read the word, and I really appreciate this opportunity that we have this ample space to read. When it comes to reading, you have to create a good environment for you to read, because there are many distractions. There are many distractions. Are we together? All right. But if you seek God earnestly and plead with Almighty, if you're pure and upright, even now He will rouse Himself on your behalf, and He will restore you to your prosperous state. Your beginnings will seem humble, so prosperous will your future be. Your beginnings might seem humble, but you will be prosperous. Ask the former generations and find out what their ancestors learned. For we are born only yesterday and know nothing, and our days on earth are but a shadow. Will they not instruct you and tell you? Will they not bring forth words from their understanding? Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. We're in the book of Job, and I want us to concentrate on this word, and it would be very wonderful if we read the word. And I know that there will be an impartation in by the time we finish reading. There will be an impartation in our lives. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. Be very happy if you read the scripture with me. Tell me, do you find this channel interesting? Do you find this channel informative? If you do, like, subscribe, and tell me, you can give me your own, you can recommend something that I should do, and maybe what to improve, etc., etc. Can papyrus grow tall where there is no marsh? Can reeds thrive without water? While still growing and uncut, they wither more quickly than grass. Such is the destiny of all who forget God, so perishes the hope of the godless. What they trust in is fragile, that they rely on is a spider's web. They lean on the web, but it gives way. They cling to it, but it does not hold. They are like well-watered plant in the sunshine. You're like a well-watered plant in the sunshine, spreading its shoots over the garden. It entwines its roots round a pile of rocks and looks for a place among the stones. But when it is torn from its spot, that place disowns it and says, I never saw you. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'll be very happy if we read the scripture together. I'll be very happy if we understand what the word says. Surely its life withers away, and from the soil other plants grow. Surely God does not reject one who is blameless, or strengthen the hands of evildoers. He will yet fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. Your enemies will be clothed in shame, and the tents of the wicked will be no more. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. Such an amazing time, such an amazing time to read the word. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment and tell me where you're watching me from. Job chapter 9, then Job replied, indeed I know that this is true, but how can mere mortals prove their innocence before God? Though they wished to dispute with him, they could not answer him once in 1,000 times. His wisdom is profound, his power is vast. Who has resisted him and come out unscathed? He moves mountains without their knowing it, and overturns them in his anger. He shakes the earth from its place and makes its pillars tremble. He speaks to the sun and it does not shine. He seals off the light of the stars. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'm very happy this morning to read the word. Feel free to join me in reading the word. And I know that by reading the word, there will be something will start moving in your life. Any questions up to there? Any questions? You know, any questions up to there? You can see a story here where a woman burns a boyfriend and steals over 300,000 in Nairobi. Wow. Let me see that story. You know, it's very sad that a woman. Let's listen.
After his girlfriend allegedly attacked him, scalding him with hot water and leaving him with severe burn injuries that nearly cost him his life. Steve Godia says the attack happened on the eve of Valentine's Day at his rented house in Umoja 1 Estate, Nairobi. Steve alleges the irate girlfriend confronted him over suspicions that he was involved with an ex-girlfriend. As Franklin Muller reports, the matter was reported to the police, but 10 days on, the suspect remains at large, leaving Steve and his family anxious for justice.
Love turned into horror on the eve of Valentine's Day in what police are investigating as an attempted murder and grievous assault, allegedly at the hands of a jilted lover. Steve Godia is now counting the cost. Writhing in pain, he is struggling to process how a day meant to celebrate love became a fight for his life. Admitted to a city hospital, Steve says he was attacked by his girlfriend, scalded with hot water during what he believed would be a calm meeting to iron out differences in their relationship. Instead, that conversation allegedly erupted into violence, leaving him with severe injuries and a Valentine's he may never forget.
And she banned me because I think she was not satisfied with the explanation I had given her. Or maybe she felt like me sleeping, I had ignored her.
Steve alleges the suspect, a woman he has known for the past 3 years, visited him that night, but with a different mission. He allegedly demanded to know whether he was involved with an ex-girlfriend. In the dead of the night, he claims he boiled water and poured it onto his face.
I was worse than this. My face was swollen. My eyes, the next morning, my eyes could not see anymore. They were swollen. The wounds were aching. The pain was very intense.
CCTV cameras captured the suspect moments after the alleged attack, hurriedly leaving the premises shortly after the incident. Steve has identified the woman as Gladwell Kagai, someone he says he trusted and known for 3 years. Steve also claims she took 2 of his mobile phones and transferred more than 300,000 shillings from his account.
When I went to replace my SIM cards, I found that the mini statement showed me she had transferred all the money. And the money was around 318,450. So she stole everything and left me with 7 shillings. What I just want, the culprit should be apprehended and arraigned in court so that I can get justice.
Steve, a third-year student at Multimedia University, says the ordeal has forced him to miss his exams, adding academic disruption to his physical and emotional pain.
The bills are piling up. I'm just asking for financial support.
His hope is the suspect will be apprehended. Franklin Wala, Citizen TV. Try now. Kobe Maximum.
Okay, welcome. Let's continue reading. You can see here, if you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment, and just cross the 1 hour mark. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'm very happy to be here. Yes, any questions? Any questions up to there? You feel free to ask me your questions. Uh, you know, um, let's continue. Let's start a new stream. Do you want me to start a new stream? All right. Any questions up to there? Okay.